Welcome to the Slow Crafting Podcast. My name's Nadine and I'm coming to you today from the northwest of England near Manchester. This is a podcast about trying to incorporate a slow living or slow fashion agenda into my crafting life. So whether that's knitting, spinning, sewing, crochet or any other fibre crafts that take my fancy at the time. Hopefully the video quality on this might be a bit better today. I'm trying a new way of recording and fingers crossed it's better, because the last two have been absolutely dreadful. I don't know what's gone wrong with my other camera on my computer, but we shall see how this goes, because it might all go wrong when it comes to editing. Right, anyway, today's episode is going to be slightly different to my normal. We're not looking at an outfit this time. I'm going to talk to you about a couple of books. I did mention in the last episode that I wanted to talk about The Curated Closet by Anushka Rees. Now this is probably going to be back to front because I've figured out how to flip it around on my computer, but not on here. So yes, you probably get everything back to front today. So The Curated Closet by Anushka Rees and Remake It Clothes by Henrietta Thompson and illustrated by Neil Whittington. Okay. Now I'll start with The Curated Closet by Anushka Rees. This is basically tips and principles for working out a wardrobe that fits your personal style. So I have made notes today. I don't normally have show notes. Oh, I've got a light right down the middle of my head. Move slightly, I might not do. I made rather a lot of notes. Okay, according to the blurb, the curated closet is a wardrobe that's perfectly tailored to your unique personal style and your life. It contains everything you need to feel confident and inspired every day, no more and no less. It's not based on trends, style typologies, or a one-size-fits-all list of wardrobe essentials. Now, part of that appeals to me in that it sounds like a more conscious approach to your wardrobe, in that you are stepping out of a fast fashion atmosphere and trying to work with something that works for you, your body, your lifestyle, your style preferences. So the basic idea appeals to me, although the approach that Anushka takes is slightly different to my own, because whereas she's very much approaching it from a consumer perspective, in that she is looking at it from what outfits you can buy to fit into your needs and things. I'm looking at it from a, well, what can I make or what can I repurpose perspective. So there were points in the book where I was reading it and I was thinking that doesn't really fit with me and my ideals, but the overall principles do. So the principles of the book, or of creating your own curated closet, to be selective, to be authentic to yourself and your own ideas of style, to aim for quality rather than trends or specific styles, invest time and energy in developing your style. I think quite often people, certainly I, fell into wearing clothes that didn't make me happy when I didn't have time to actually think about what I was wearing. So when I was pregnant and when I was a new mum, I just wore what fitted and what was clean, vaguely. And you know, you can pay attention to some fashion trends, but only if they fit your overall style, rather than you know, you can ignore all the rest that come and go at an alarming rate. So the book's split into 3 sections: discovering your personal style, building your dream wardrobe, and the art of shopping. Now, within each of the categories, there are a series of challenges or exercises to help you work through different ways of achieving your goals within those sections. So within the first section, developing your own style, she suggests that you go through your existing wardrobe and identify what clothes in it you actually wear, how they make you feel, both emotionally and physically, you know, whether they're too tight or, you know, they're an awkward fit under the armpit or something like that. Which items you don't like and why, which items you do like, what message they think that you send out about you when you're wearing them, and there's a whole range of other questions to go through. It's really in-depth look, and probably a lot more attention that you would normally pay to your own wardrobe and clothes, but I'll come back to that in a bit. And she suggests writing down your own style goals, so what you would like to be able to wear but don't currently, what you like that's in your wardrobe, which areas still need work, and also any new skills that you'd like to be able to develop. Now, the examples she gives in the book of new skills are around skills around styling and choosing colours and things like that. But I think for me, if I'm to identify any new skills that I'd like, it would be from a more maker orientated perspective. So, you know, like specific crafting or tailoring skills that I think would be useful to create or repair or alter existing outfits to make them more suitable to what I need or like. I mean, because at the moment, whilst I'm happy sewing items from scratch, I'm not confident in repairing. No, not repairing, I can repair. It's making alterations to fit and style of an existing garment. So I think that would probably be one skill that I would identify as needing work. Oh, I just moved my cup of coffee. The cat looked like it was coming to try and steal some of it, or at least put his foot in it. Right, Eddie? He might leap up in a minute, so you might see movement. Yep, there he goes. I think it's the first time you've seen Eddie on the podcast. It's normally one of the children that's coming in and gate crashing. But yes, as long as he doesn't start licking himself inappropriately in the background, we'll be fine. Okay, so as I was saying, like the new skills that I would identify would be more around sort of tailoring and alterations. There was a quote in the book, and it says, to be comfortable and confident, we need clothes that feel like us. Now, I can... Oh, who's behind the camera now? I can identify well in some ways, but then in other ways, it feels a bit shallow. There's another quote, a concept of clothes defining our personality versus clothes reflecting our personality, and I think, you know, that it's a very fine line between thinking that clothes are going to make you somebody else that you're not necessarily are. You know, they're going to make you super awesome and successful and confident and beautiful, and that makes me feel very uncomfortable. but the idea that your clothes show how you feel on the inside, I feel slightly more comfortable with. I'm not explaining it very coherently or successfully, but there's a TED talk by Stacia Savasuk about basically on the concept of clothes reflecting how you feel inside, so a congruency between what you present on the outside and how you feel on the inside, which is a lot better. And if I remember, I'll put the link somewhere in the description box or on the screen. But yes, she says it a lot better. Eddie. Eddie. Oh, honestly, little monkey. Eddie, stop it. Sorry, it's just fallen off the window ledge. Oh, he's gone away in a sulk now. I shouldn't have laughed at him. Yes, so moving on, for discovering your own personal style, you know, she recommends drawing together a selection of images, be it from blogs or magazines, films, telly, Pinterest, people that you stalk on Instagram, whatever, looking at who inspires you and what outfits that you'd really like to wear, but bearing in mind how they would fit into your lifestyle, so not just looking at all the glossy magazines and the high fashion pieces and going, oh yes, I'd love to wear a tiara and a ball gown every day whilst working in a shop. So, you know, you need to inject some reality into your inspirational choices. And I think for mine, there are a couple of people that I follow on Instagram that I really like how they dress. You know, they're very different ages and lifestyles and things, but they have got sort of key principles that crop up in both their sort of style presentations. No, she says you should consider the overall vibe of an outfit. I'm not comfortable with the word vibe. It just sounds a bit hipster for me. You know, any individual items that are a recurring theme. So for me, it would be cardigans and shawls. There would be recurring themes in my outfits. Colours, silhouettes, materials and styling. And look for any repeating patterns. And see what works for you. So I think for me, mine would be probably quite a feminine layered look, similar to in my ideal wardrobe, similar to like a Japanese mori girl image. So lots of layers and slightly bohemian at the same time, you know, mixing textures and colours, and yeah, mori girl meets bohemian meets art teacher meets stay-at-home mum. I think is my outfit description. But very, very loose, fitting, quite flowy, comfortable, creative. And that they would be the sort of my tick boxes for an outfit and a style. She suggests going to a big shop and trying on lots of different clothes and working out what actually fits from your style ideals, what actually suits you and works well on you. And you know, if it doesn't work well first time, looking at it and saying, well, is it because, you know, that particular style element's too intense? If I tone it down, will it actually work? So say I like bright pink things, instead of dressing head to toe in bright pink, you know, just dress in a sort of more neutral background colour, but then have like one item that's bright pink, like a scarf or jewellery or something else. So working out what fabrics and fits suit you. So for me it would be, you know, I've said before that I would prefer to have more natural fibres in my wardrobe, be that wool or linen, cotton, although probably more recycled cotton than new bought cotton, because of all the environmental issues associated with cotton production. She also, in terms of fit, she's talking about things like necklines, style of sleeve, waistlines, dress skirt length and type, or trousers length and type. So for me, I don't know, I'm a bit torn, because I do quite like a nice V-neck, but at the same time I'm starting to prefer a higher neck on some of my outfits. Just basically because I've reached an age where I'm now uncomfortable with people looking at my bosoms or drawing attention to my bosom with an outfit. In my 20s, well, in my late teens, 20s and possibly early 30s, I was quite happy wearing busty outfits, but no, I'm not any longer. And you know, I would prefer to be seen as a person overall rather than a pair of walking boobs, which in some ways is a shame, because my boobs are just another part of my body, but yeah, just for me, I think I'm becoming more comfortable with a higher neckline. Okay. The next step she recommends is going through your existing wardrobe and culling anything that doesn't fit your style ideals, which doesn't sit necessarily very easy with me either, because I mean, she does go through different ways in which you can cull them, you know, so donating or giving away, repairing, my personal favourite, off-season storage. I don't know how big a house or how big a wardrobe she thinks people have, but one, I don't have room to store clothes that are not in my wardrobe because every other available space is full, and two, I live in the UK. My wardrobe stays pretty similar all year round. This year's been slightly different because we haven't had red hot summer, but normally I just wear more layers. I wear the same outfit in summer as I do in winter, but in winter I'll wear it with a vest and a t-shirt underneath it and a bigger jumper, and possibly some tights and a pair of trousers. So yeah, that didn't work for me. Yeah, the other things that it was just the idea of just getting rid of everything in your wardrobe, just like that. It did make me feel uncomfortable, because I know if you're not wearing it and it's in your wardrobe, it's taking up space, but it needs to just not be there. But at the same time, we've got a charity shop across the road, so I see all the ginormous bin bags that have been donated to the charity shop but not been sold out for a certain period of time, and are then either going off to be made into rags or to be made, you know, just into more landfill. And it does make me uncomfortable, because I think in some instances people see donating to charity shop as, you know, the best ethical option, and not considering then what happens to those clothes if they don't get sold within the charity shops. It's not always as straightforward as it seems at first. I think the best option is not to buy so many clothes in the first place, so then you're not handing them down to charity shops, or buying better quality clothes, so that if for whatever reason they no longer fit your wardrobe, when you do hand them on to the charity shops, they're more likely to be sold, and more likely to have a life beyond you. One good tip actually that she does recommend is building up a pie chart. I know the science geek in me is quite excited, well, social science geek in me is quite excited about pie chart. Looking at what activities you generally do. So it suggests taking a 2-week period and doing a list of all the activities that you do within that week, or that 2-week period, and then grouping them into categories like work, daytime, evenings out, things like that, and then working out what the clothes in your wardrobe, what activities they're suitable for. So my 2-week activity plan is quite monotonous. It's like daytime activities, because I don't go out on a night. We don't have date nights as a family. And I think the only outfit differences I have are when I'm at the allotment or gardening, or when I'm setting up and running the local toddler group, because for the setup and packing away I need to be shifting big boxes and climbing about under the stage, putting all the toys away or getting them out, and sometimes you know, you need different outfits. Or, you know, when I'm up the allotment, I'm digging, I'm sweating, I'm covered in mud, I need pockets to put vegetables in, or seed packets. So basically I have the majority of my time I have 2 different outfit styles. But then if I only filled my wardrobe with those 2 different outfit styles, there would be an occasion, a very rare occasion, where I would have nothing to wear, because I'm like, oh, can't go to a christening in my allotment joggers, can I? But yes, so we've got my current wardrobe. I don't know if you're going to see this. We've got just under a quarter of clothes that don't fit, about 1/8 of work clothes left over from when I worked in an office. Half of my wardrobe is currently casual or allotment clothes, or setting up toddler group clothes. Just under a quarter of daytime clothes, and then a small section of super fancy clothes, and that are too dressy for any of the activities I do now. But you know, they were like bridesmaid dress that I've got, or ball dresses that I've had for various different reasons. So this is my current wardrobe. My ideal wardrobe would be about 2/3 daytime clothes, so smart casual, the type of things that I've been trying to include in my wardrobe over the last year is basically what I want the majority of my wardrobe to be. Outfits for actually running the toddlers groups, because they're slightly different to the ones that I use for setting up the day before, because they need to be smart and presentable for, you know, being around other people and like in an informal work environment, but they also need to be practical and comfortable enough for putting the toys away and tidying up at the end. And then I need probably about a quarter of my wardrobe for scruffy casual allotment or setting up toddler clothes. A small number of outfits suitable for christenings and weddings, and then probably a smaller than I currently have section of outfits for super fancy occasions, just because then they're in my wardrobe and I don't have to go and buy one for a specific event that then I end up buying in a rush and not necessarily getting what I need and what suits me and what might be able to be worn again in the future. So from that we can see that my current wardrobe doesn't fit my ideal wardrobe at present. Probably for the biggest reason because I've got a big chunk in there that don't fit. And as of yet, I'm not ready to get rid of them or lose a significant amount of weight to fit back into them. So they'll just sit in the corner for now. So when you're working out what type of outfits you would like in your ideal wardrobe, she suggests considering, you know, the weather conditions you're going to be wearing them in. So for me, pretty much cool, often damp weather is what I'm going to be wearing everything in. I'm going to spend a lot of time outdoors, whether that be working on the allotment or walking back and forwards to school 3 times a day, or out at the weekend as a family walking somewhere for fun or just to get around. Yeah, so you know, in terms of my shoes, I need something that's comfortable and practical, and you know, I can't be tottering about in high heels and on a daily basis. One, because I'm out of practice, and 2, because I live on a cobbled street. Cobbles and high heels are not a combination made in heaven. You know, when you're choosing bags, thinking about what you're actually going to be carrying around in a bag. I have just pared back what I need to carry around because I don't as often have to carry, you know, spare pairs of out knickers and leggings and whatever for both children, just in case whenever we go out anywhere. There are times I can leave the house with just my phone and my keys. Sometimes don't even have to take a purse. It's this. But then most of the time I want to have, you know, my purse, my phone, my keys, some knitting, a pen, a notepad. You know, I can't get away with a tiny little bag. I do need something slightly more significant, but not as big as the like nappy bags that I used to have to carry around. And also think about the level of maintenance that you're happy with. So not filling all your wardrobe with dry clean only items if what you really want to do is just be able to bung them in the washing machine and then get them back in your wardrobe again. I'm aware I've taken quite a long time to talk about this already, and I don't want to get into trouble for just going through everything in the book. So I'll probably go through this last bit quite quickly, and I might not actually get time to go through the remake book. So she suggests you clothes in your wardrobe should be split into sort of 3 main areas. Key pieces that are an essential part of your style, but work in lots of different ways. Statement pieces that are sort of like bold and jazzy, and you know, just having a few of those rather than lots, and basics that balance some of your bolder pieces. And you should shop and budget for those accordingly. So your statement pieces, you don't need as many of those, and therefore you shouldn't be spending as much on them as you would on your basics and your key pieces, because they're the ones that you're going to wear time and time again, and they need to be quality and last, basically. Now, she also suggests defining a colour palette for your wardrobe, which is something that I really like the sound of as well. So she suggests picking 3 main colours, 2 neutrals, and 4 sort of accent colours. I'll give you an example of some of the colour palettes that she's got in here. Oh, I've just seen them. Where have they gone? Now, well, there we go. These are some of the colour palettes. My colour palette's quite a bit brighter. I think for my three main colours, I'm liking the sound of navy or indigo blue, brown and green. Now, I'm quite happy with a bit of variation within the shades in each of those areas, so that probably is cheating. My neutrals, probably a black and a cream rather than a white. And then for my accent colours, I'm thinking mustard, red, maroon and a rusty orange colour. Now, they are all quite bold and quite autumnal, but I think all of them will work with the three main colours. And it did make me realise actually that I don't like or suit grey, which was a surprise. Because I know I've got grey clothes that when I put them on I don't feel particularly confident or attractive or happy, but I just thought it was the jumper, well, the outfit itself, but or the style or something. But no, I think it is actually the colour. I have got a grey-ish shawl, the crochet shawl that I did the other week, which is okay because it's a slightly greeny grey, but a grey I don't think suits me. It makes me feel a bit drained in a way that black doesn't, which is going to have interesting implications because I've got a sweater's worth of hand spun Gotland that is a dark grey that I'm probably going to need to over dye before I knit it into a cardigan, which is a good thing to know before I've actually knitted it, because I might have knitted it up and then not wanted to wear it, even though it's my most favourite fibre in the world. So I think I'll probably end up over dyeing that blue. So that was a useful exercise because it did make me think about what I've got in my wardrobe and in my stash, fabric stash and wool stash, that and what the implications are for getting some wear out of what I've already got. Yeah, I think she says about identifying an outfit formula, you know, such as wearing skinny jeans with a tunic and flat shoes, and then working out what you've got in your wardrobe, and you know how many different outfits you can make up with what you've already got, and then looking at any areas where you might have outfits missing or items missing, so that you need some more flat. Ooh, sorry about that. My alarm went off to tell me it was time to pick up my little girl, so I probably will just rush through this last bit. Oh, and I've now adjusted the camera so I'm at the wrong angle, the wrong light levels. Oh, never mind. So yeah, outfit formula, working out where you need extra outfits. So if you need more skinny jeans or more tunics, what have you. My outfit formula would be cardigan, shawl, dress, ideally boots, but boots I do not have. But then when you're working out how many of each type of outfit or type of garment you need, bearing in mind how often you wash them or how often you can wear them between washes as well. So you'd need more pairs of pants than you would cardigans, basically, and things like that. By pants I mean knickers, not trousers. I mean, and then there was a big section about tweaking your wardrobe for work, but as I said, I don't work in a corporate or an office environment, so that wasn't really relevant for me. And then it talks about buying or going shopping for your clothes, which again wasn't really relevant for me because I would prefer to be making my clothes rather than buying them from a shop. But you know, it talks about tips for making buying clothes less stressful, being a conscious consumer, how to assess the quality of your clothes before buying them, which are all sort of really important things, and really useful things for people who don't have the time or the ability to make their own, and you know, is going to enable them to be a more conscious consumer and ultimately buy fewer items of clothing. So that was, I thought, quite useful and interesting. I mean, I got the book out from my local library, and I would recommend that, you know, if you can find it in yours, it was a really good read. It is very pink though. There's a lot of pink throughout the book, and that bugged me. Just because I'm not a pink person, it just seemed unnecessarily girly, which shouldn't be a bad thing. It just, yeah, a bit too, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, it's bad enough that this book's aimed primarily at women and saying you should be spending all this time thinking about what you wear and how you wear it and what you do, where I can't see men having the same considerations and spending as much effort and time on thinking about what they wear and how they wear it. I may be wrong, there probably are men out there that do, but you know, to then make the book very pink, it just seemed too much. Right, anything else that might be of interest? Yeah, and as well as talking about assessing the quality of your clothes, you talk about assessing the fit and how to work out how to fix some common fit problems and issues. But then she also talked about maintaining your wardrobe over the course of a year and doing seasonal overhauls. And you know, every 6 months, so that, you know, the beginning of spring, beginning of autumn, going through and putting your off-season clothes into storage, which we've also already discussed, and working out what you need for the coming season ahead, which didn't work for me but might for other people who live in different climates, or have different activities depending on what time of year it is. So yeah, it was a good book. Not all particularly relevant to me, but the big things that I took from it were about helping me to identify the colours and the fabrics that I wanted in my wardrobe bit, and the types of outfits that I needed to be making based on what activities I do, and the types of clothes that are already in my wardrobe. So it has been quite useful. Yeah, I'm really not going to have time to go through the Remake It book. Actually no, I might I'll just give you a quick overview, because I was a bit disappointed. Now, in principle, this book looks quite good, because it says the essential guide to resourceful fashion with over 500 tricks, tips and inspirational designs. Now it goes through a lot, you know, it gives you a lot examples of lots of companies with ethical production values, or that are recycling and repurposing either existing clothes or fashion waste, or there's one company that grow their own biological material. It sounds very much like the SCOBY on the top of some kombucha or something that they then create into a fabric. But they're all very high fashion. There's none that, you know, are operating at an affordable high street level with they're not, none of them look particularly wearable on a day-to-day basis. So I mean, apart from there is a mention of Alabama Channing, but strangely just her menswear range, which I thought was a bit odd. But yes, all the rest of it is very, very high fashion and not necessarily something that would fit my lifestyle. But as well as the examples of companies that are repurposing and remaking clothes, it also gives you some projects for things that you can do at home by yourself. But, so, yeah, this is an example of one of them. This is for making a dress out of some silk scarves. The projects that it gives you just seem very basic and, you know, your stereotypical homemade outfits that look a bit odd. You know, so basically taking a square sheet and making it into a sarong, or turning a man's shirt into a halter neck by just fastening the arms behind your neck. And that didn't really work for me either, because I think I would have found it more interesting if they'd have talked about, you know, turning a man's shirt into a fitted lady's shirt, or, you know, something like that, or deconstructing an existing garment to make it into something more wearable and less look at me, I've got a bedsheet tied around me as a toga, which is what the other projects seem to be more leaning towards. So yeah, I wasn't as happy with this book as I thought I was going to be, but it did give me some ideas and some thoughts to be working with, but it's not something that I would buy or necessarily get out of the library again. And there was none of the fashion brands that were in my budget. So even if I wanted to be buying clothes, I couldn't use it as a resource for thinking, oh, these companies make ethical clothes, I'll go to them and see what I can do, because they were well out of my price range and not really in my personal style either. The only one that I did really like was a mention of a company called Cloth Kits. Now, it was a company in the 70s, but then it folded in I think the 90s and was bought by somebody else, and then it had a resurgence a few years ago. But I'm not keen on the current embodiment of Cloth Kits, but the 70s one I absolutely love. I'm like, can I just have all these for my entire family? Basically it was dress patterns already printed on the fabric, and you just cut them out and sewed them up. But yeah, they are so bright and bold and so very 70s that I just love them. And yeah, I'd be very happy with those, but unfortunately the company has moved on style wise, funnily enough. But yeah, it's been interesting. It's been interesting, a couple of books. but I am really going to have to get off now and go leg it to school to go and pick my little girl up. Next time I'll be back talking about, hopefully, fingers crossed, a completed outfit number 4. I think I've just got the dress to finish, but I have at least cut the pattern pieces out now, so we're doing slightly better with that. But I hope you found this interesting and it wasn't too waffly and off the wall, and that the video quality is an improvement. And I will speak to you again soon. Alright then, thank you very much. Bye bye.